back to the Back Pocket Creative. I appreciate you joining me, listening to me, sharing, watching, whatever you do. I appreciate it. And so today, I want to talk about something that honestly I have always believed in, but something that I more even recently kind of have understood the benefit of, the long-term benefit of, and that is mentorship or helping other creatives. Because I think a lot of times that I've seen, and even I've noticed in myself, is there's a temptation to not, I guess, train someone up or not give someone the trade secrets or not help someone be better than you at your craft. And I think a lot of times with that, it becomes almost like you're stunting your own growth, because if you're not pouring into someone, if you're not helping someone else, if you're not answering questions and like basically being, a asset or a resource for someone, then what's the point? And I get that there's the competitive nature of things and all that. But when it comes to it, I think we grow as creatives when we teach others, when we pour what we know, what we've poured our blood, sweat, and tears over, the things that we have invested our time, our money into. Hey, if we can help someone get a step up, right? If we can help someone bypass a roadblock, why not? One of the things that I've always said for me is that I would rather share the information, take the time, than take it to the grave and it be nothing. I would rather my legacy be that I helped XYZ, that so and so was able to call on me when they had to troubleshoot something, or so and so learned this trick from me, or this thing that helped speed up their workflow. And I think a lot of times, I think that I've allowed myself to be a resource, and it has taken time, and it has, set me back on different projects, or taken time out of my personal life where, I take a phone call where I'm home with my kid and my wife, and, I'm out troubleshooting something for 30 minutes, because I remember there was a night recently where someone called me at about 11 o'clock at night. We were watching a TV show, about to go to bed right at the TV show, and about 30 minutes into it, and they called me, and it was about a 40-minute phone call of me helping troubleshoot something and finding something for them. And at the end of the day, no, I didn't take a paycheck from that. No, I didn't take money for that, because I don't want it, because I want to be able to be a resource to people that need it, and people that are, genuine in the sense that they, they don't understand something, and I do. Even this particular thing, before they even finished the sentence of telling me what was going on, I said, well, you need this, and this is the issue. And sure enough, that's what it was, because I had been in that person's position, and I had also had that same thing, that same problem happen to me. And so I recognized it the second I heard it. And so, I think a lot of times for us, we have to really, get into the dirt with people and help people. And even though, I know a lot of times I've seen people, like they're like, well, they need to go through the tough times like I did to learn to get where I am. And I get that. I understand that. And that's a temptation, I think, is to say, well, screw that person. They can learn on their own. They can put their own time in. They can put their own money in. But I think the thing I learned even now is that it keeps me from being stagnant by teaching someone, by taking the phone calls, taking the texts, even going and physically helping someone when I can. It keeps me from growing stagnant. It keeps me from being this person that only is here. I can go further when I train people, because here's the thing. Those people will ask questions that either will remind me of things that I don't do or processes that I don't follow, or they'll ask questions that'll provoke me to go, yeah, why do I do it that way? And I'll unpack it. Maybe I'll improve my workflow, because I think the other way to view people that are around you that are not of your same skill set, that are kind of on the come up, they may have a new set of eyes on things, and you can teach them something. And then while you're teaching them, you may learn, oh, I can do this better, or, oh, I can do X, Y, Z quicker if I do this. And then one of the best parts, I think, of when I was in positions where I had lots of volunteers and things is, I viewed them as a success if they were able to walk out of my department and get paid by other people to do other projects, because where they were volunteering, like, yeah, I get that that's important, they fulfill a need there, but I didn't see a successful volunteer as a successful volunteer or a trainee if that person got good at what they were doing in their area. I took it a joy when they went outside of that area and they bought a camera, invested in a editing software, invested in whatever, and they started doing it outside of their area, and it became a passion of theirs. That's when I'm like, okay, that's what I'm doing it for. That's what the box I check. Because I think the thing a lot of times too is, as creatives in this space, it is when we have volunteers, we have even underpaid, assistants or people that are trying to learn the trade. I think the tendency is, oh, they're just here to fulfill a job, or they're just to fill a position or a hole in what I'm doing. And sure, yeah, that is true. That's what they're there for. But if I can give them something more tangible, number one, they'll want to come back, and number two, I'll become more easy to work with because I start to work with all kinds of different volunteers with all kinds of different personalities and quirks and things that they're dealing with, and then I become a better leader. I become a better person because then I learn how to sympathize with those people's specific needs and their specific situations. And then I am able to be more versatile when dealing with people, when dealing with clients, when dealing with situations. When I'm able to consult and stuff like that, I'm able to pull on experiences I had with volunteers or people that I've worked with that, were assistants and I wasn't paying big bucks because, hey, they still got to learn, they don't know how to do XYZ. So yeah, I'm not going to pay them like somebody that knows what they're doing, but I'm going to treat them like they are a professional. And then I'm going to teach them and I'm going to show them the way. That way, hey, you are going to be able to take a paycheck that's bigger or take on jobs that are bigger than you are now. And, I see that as a success to take people up. And, I know that most people see it that way, but I know sometimes as creatives, it can be very competitive and we can be very much like, well, if I give this person this opportunity, well, then I'm going to lose my edge. And I see it as the opposite. If I don't give that person that opportunity, then I'm going to lose my edge because then what am I? I'm just one person that can do something and I can't work well with others, or I can't train people on the fly, because that is one thing that I'm very glad that I've gotten to do. Is I've gotten to basically train legions of volunteers to do video work, to do live production, to do all kinds of awesome things, live recordings, like things that they didn't have knowledge to do, but because I was able to enlighten them and then awaken them to a passion, now they're really good at what they do, and a lot of them doing it without me, and I love it. It's a pride of mine to be like, okay, these people came in with no knowledge, with no experience, and now, hey, they're out there, they're doing it, and it gives me great joy. And then I love when, hey, they say, hey, I need help with this, could you give me your opinion? I love it because I'm like, okay, I'm going to continue to pour in this person because they're not even at their max potential, and they may be good, but I know they're not at their max potential. And so I love that stuff, and I love just to pour into people. And honestly, like, I get that it can sometimes be seen as like counterproductive, especially, in different types of areas of creativity, right? So like if you're in a competitive thing in your city and, you got a niche, yeah, it definitely is kind of hard to try to teach somebody. But at the same time, like, look at the benefits though. You get overworked and then you can pass it on to someone else and you can continue to kind of get business from even that person. Like, you can start getting in the business with that person, or even at the very least using that person, because I've had people that I've trained that will then refer me for bigger jobs. So they'll get asked, hey, can you do this? No, I can't. I'm not as good, but so-and-so is. So then I get referrals off the people that I help train. And so I think you have to see it as a good thing, something that does get you further than something that sets you back. So hope this is helpful. Thankful for watching, and I'll see you next week.